How did you come to Williams?
By car. I wanted to go to college not in Pennsylvania because where I lived and where I just knew the territory too well. And I wanted a place that offered theater possibilities. I'd heard about the Adams Memorial Theater and about Pete McCandless and how, you know, the whole lighting board thing worked and all that sort of thing. It sounded really interesting. I went up there and I just liked the atmosphere, and I wanted to go to a liberal arts college, and I wanted to go to a small one. I didn't want large classes. I didn't want a university. And the college counselor at George School suggested Williams. And that's why I went to Williams. I wanted to be a mathematician. I wanted particularly, I'm really interested in number theory. And I wanted to be a mathematician. But I had been playing piano and writing songs for George School. And my elective for the first year at Williams was music. And I was so taken with the music professor, Robert Barrow, that I decided to major in music and to write as much as I could. And since I loved the theater, that was my way of putting the two things together. I had a surrogate father, Oscar Hammerstein, and he had been encouraging me to write songs and to write for the theater, and so that's why I did that. I, of course, had been brought up to think of music as inspirational, as the kind of thing when you're staring out of your New York penthouse and you look over the city and suddenly a little birdie comes to your shoulder and goes, ba-da-da-da. No, Robert Barrow said, I'll tell you what music is about. It's about a scale. And then he went into tonal music, and then he went into chromatic music. And it just opened my eyes. That's what an education should do. And so I became a musician. I had learned how music works. And so by the time I graduated, I no longer thought of it as some kind of airy, inspirational, divine gift. I thought of it as a science, as a way of organizing sound, which is, of course, exactly what it is. I started, you know, kind of as a romantic and ended up as a realist. Nobody had ever done a musical before. And so, you know, in fact, the head of the English department didn't even want plays that were written in the 20th century. So the plays that were all performed were 19th century and Greek. And so the idea, I had to fight my way to get permission to do a musical there. They thought that was very outre and not within academic standards. The first one was done, my first of the musicals I wrote up there was Finney's Rainbow was my sophomore year, so I must have written it over the vacation between freshman and sophomore. And I don't remember writing it on campus. I think I probably wrote lyrics on campus, but I don't remember writing music. But I may have. There were rehearsal rooms at the Adams Memorial Theater, and I may have done it there. And the second show I did was I wanted to step up from just a college satire, and so I took a play by Mark Connolly and George Kaufman called Beggar on Horseback, and which seemed to me would be a good musical. And Oscar had outlined a sort of course for me over a period of years to start by taking a play that I liked and musicalizing it, and then taking a play that I liked but thought was flawed and musicalizing that, and then take a non-play but not original material like a book or story and then finally by writing my own original, and that's exactly what I did. And this was the first in that step, those steps. You know, again, Oscar had been a mentor to me, so I wasn't just feeling my way in the fog. I knew something about where I was going and what I was doing. And in fact, when I was between freshman and sophomore, Oscar did a musical called Allegro, and I was his assistant. I was sort of a gopher and script typer and that sort of thing. And he wanted me to have some professional experience. And it happened that the show, Allegro, was in rehearsal during the summer months and opening in the early fall. So it fit perfectly with my college schedule. And so by the time I got back to college, I sort of knew something about the theater and about how to put a show together. I was always academically good. I'm one of those people who makes a good student. I mean, a quick student. I never had to cram. I didn't have to. I had no trouble getting good grades, and so it wasn't as much work as it is for a lot of people. But that's a knack. There's a knack for getting facts and spitting them back out at the back at the professors. It's a knack, and so I had that. So life was easy in that sense, and I did well academically, and so I was able to do a lot of extracurricular activities as a result, and so it was never boring, and I loved learning. Once you know how to learn things, I don't think you have to be educated anymore, and Williams was very good at that. Cole Porter lived on an estate about a mile from Williamstown, and through various connections through Oscar, I got a chance to play for him because I had just written a show namely All That Glitters, that had in it a Cole Porter satire, a sort of begin the begin. And so I thought I'd like to play it for him. And so, as you know, Williamstown get very slushy in the winter. It was about a mile walk. And by the time I got to his house, my boots were covered with grime and dirty snow. And I got to the front door of his house, and there was a sign that said, "Please wipe your feet, white rugs inside." I thought, oh, God! Wouldn't you know? So I went into his house barefoot, and he was terrific to me. And of course, when I got in there, his piano had some manuscript on it, so I need to say peaked, and that was a thrill. And then he came in, and I played him the song, and I thought, is he going to be offended or whatever? And far from it, he said, "It's really good, but I like to extend my endings. Why don't you try something like this?" And he improved my song, and that's a memorable day. That was a memorable day. But academically, I can't think of any particularly memorable incident, except that first. Oh no, the first session also with Lane Faison's Art, with Art 101, 102. That was also, he took a painting by Degas and analyzed it for us, and it was an eye opener, because it wasn't about just the painting. It was about how an artist organizes his thoughts or his creative or whatever vision. I'm trying to avoid the pretentious words, and the painting's called The Watering Can, and it was a ballet rehearsal hall, and there was a watering can in one corner of the picture, and lower left corner, and then there were dancers at the bar and stretching, doing that sort of thing. And I said, all right, I want to go around the room now. I want everybody to tell me, what is that watering can doing there? And I want nobody to say anything anybody else has said. Well, it was dead silence as we all looked at each other. And of course, when you start thinking, we say, well, it has the practicality in the picture. It's to wash the floor, and then you realize that the shape of it is similar to the shape of one of the girls who's at the bar, then you realize it's balancing this vast slope of the floor. And I just thought, the watering can functions in about 50 ways, and that's what art is about. So that was, so you're asking me about memorable days. They're all teaching days. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody at Williams for this week devoted to my stuff, and I hope that everybody will enjoy what there is there, and that academia will not kill it. And so I wish I could be there, as a matter of fact, but I have shows in preview and rehearsal, so I can't get up there. I wish I had something smart to say, but I don't. It's a difficult world, and a college education, particularly a good liberal arts college education, is not a shield, but something helpful. I'm a big believer in education. That's the other thing I could have been, I think, as a teacher. And I try to teach in my own field when I get the opportunity to. But the word teacher usually brings tears to my eyes, because teachers saved my life in so many ways.
Speaking of teaching,
Oh.
I've been at Williams for 14 years. I met Ilya, one of my first students. Please, Ilya, join us. We are thrilled to present the poster of production we are working on, where you are a center figure and inspiration to all of us.
I haven't really seen this. What is this graph?
That's a heartbeat.
Oh, it's a heartbeat.
So this is.
I thought it was the story of my career. Uh-oh. That's anyone can whistle to show the last nine performances. Oh, this Sweeney Todd, that did pretty well. But then this Merrily We Roll Along, which lasted even less. So I think maybe it is.
No, the map is from 50s, and this is kind of emphasizing life after Williams, how people inspire other generations, and for that we will thank you a great deal.
Oh, sure. Well, thank you very much. Thank you all.